Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Coaches Getting Premium Clients show. My name is Wendy Hatton, your host, and I am here today with the lovely Britney Glass, who I'm going to be interviewing today. She is an interior designer and life coach, and she's going to be talking to us like how can you declutter your environment and your mind too. So, that's why it's called Designing from the Inside Out. So, if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and click the subscribe button so that you can know when all of these episodes will be coming up. But today, I just want to welcome Brittany. Thank you so much for coming. So glad to have you here.
Thank you Wendy, for inviting me. I'm so excited about chatting with you today and having the opportunity to get to know your amazing community.
Yes, for sure. So, the first thing I want to ask you is were you an interior designer first and you became a life coach, or were you a life coach first and you became an interior designer, or how did all that come to be?
So I was actually a CPA first.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is much more fun, I think.
I started out as a CPA. All of my degrees are in accounting. I have like all the series licenses you can think of, and was working for a really big auditing firm and was completely miserable. So I wanted to quit my job, but I didn't have any money. And so Google is like my mentor, coach, or whatever. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I went to Google and it's like, okay, how do I create passive income or become wealthy? And the answer repeatedly was like perpetually was real estate, right? So no money, right? And I decided I was going to buy my first real estate property. And I promise you, it was just all persistence and I guess the universe aligned for me because it is amazing how I was able to overcome like even the reserves and all these things that I didn't have in order to buy my first property. So I'm just going to shorten that story because it was a lot going on there. However, I was very successful and bought my first four-family property and fell in love with real estate, started to renovate properties and built a relationship with a contractor. He was like, you know what, you are just so good at this. You should be an interior designer. And a Black girl from like an urban area. There's no such thing as an interior design. I had never heard of that before. So I went back to Google, my friend. Google helped me.
Google friend, yeah.
And Google's everything, guys. Try it. Any questions you have, ask Google. So says that I can literally create a living creating beautiful things. And I was like, oh my gosh, sign me up because auditing was just not fabulous. And I've always been like, I'm this amazing, lavish, fabulous life. And interior design seemed like the answer. So I started an interior design business, was completely mind blown when I started getting clients. And it's funny, I was talking to another coach the other day and we were talking just about building business and just entrepreneurs being successful or the rate of failure in entrepreneurship, starting a small business. And I actually realized that I didn't get into interior design because it was something I was super passionate about. Like it wasn't something that I grew up knowing about and dreaming to be that thing. And so when I got into it, it was more so how I liberated myself from that, what I felt was prison, right? Not being able to just be myself and make decisions that I thought were best for me. And also it wasn't in integrity with me. So I was committing and throwing myself into a movement. And that was actually the message that I originally just put out, even in my interior design, knowing nothing about branding or copywriting. I was like, I'm going to be creating powerhouses for powerhouse women.
I love that. Yeah.
Women are powerful. We're the ish. It's going down, right? And people are attracted to that message.
Okay.
And I
So
thought,
then,
yes,
oh yeah. So then where did the life coaching come in after that?
yes. So all the powerhouse women, they're hiring me. And I'm like, these ladies are baddies. Like they're amazing stuff in the world. And such a diverse group of women as well. Like women who are like doctors or they're like VPs for like these really big companies, housewives who husbands have a whole bunch of money, right? What I noticed especially if we were going through the design process, design is so intimate. We're in someone's home and I'm hearing all the things they tell me directly and the things that they don't tell me that they think that I can't hear, right? Like seeing how they react to things. I'm literally witnessing how they are like navigating the world. And we would have a lot of conversations, of course, because we're literally talking about how you're going to live out your life in this space. And I'm spending literally day after day, months at a time with people, and we become very close. And so I would have clients asking me different things at the time that I thought were like, why are you asking me this? Like, I'm just here, I'm just a designer, right? And also struggling with my self-concept of leaving all these degrees behind and what seems like, or what society associates as like, okay, you being established or very intelligent, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't even know words right now. It's like
Yeah.
literally like, okay, why would you go from this thing to this like really artsy creative thing? So credibility, right? So that's kind of how we view college educated
Oh,
and like
got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
to others. And so I'm like, okay, why are you asking me this? And you're like this head of whatever global exec at whatever company, right? And what I found was that they were asking me questions because they were kind of having that same drama as well, whether or not it was like, hey, I really want to create income as well for my family as a housewife. I really want to establish myself and really contribute, right? This is what I've heard from clients. The global exec is like, how did you get the courage to go out and do this thing? Like, I've been stuck being a lawyer for like 20 something years and I'm terrified. Like, help me. What I realized is that there was no way we were going to design spaces for them if we didn't kind of unpack all of those things and make it super authentic and really help them feel like they could be in charge of their own destiny and create space for the things that they really wanted. And that's where life coaching came in.
Oh, got it. That is ingenious of you. Wow. Okay, so next, if you have some kind of a methodology, or how is it that you help your clients? What is it you help them get from one place to the other? And what is your like signature training that you do for your clients?
So my signature training is definitely very in-depth, but I'm going to teach you guys today one of the things that I actually go through with my coaching clients when we're not like completely redesigning their space, but it has to do with creating space. But to answer your original question, how do I take people from this very holistic experience from clearing your clutter from the inside out? It's basically we get all in your business. So it gets really real. And we're
Okay.
going to start with identity creation and development. So being super honest about the things that we want and what's keeping us from getting that. And that's all the stuff that I call the clutter. So that's the shoulds, woulds, and coulds that we're telling ourselves that sometimes even sound like very logical excuses.
Yeah.
And we get rid of all of that. And then we really actually relate your feelings and your thoughts and translate that into your space. So I'm going to show you a little bit how we do that without actually using a physical space. Are you ready?
Uh, okay, I'm ready. She
So
warned me ahead of time.
I did. So we're gonna have a little fun. I actually used to call this technique something different. I used to call it space activation, but I recently changed it to sensational activation
Mm,
because we are going to use your senses in order to activate a feeling that you would want to feel in order to maybe get in the energy that you needed to self-generate or create some type of result, if that makes sense. So
yes.
you would use the technique if you wanted to show up in a certain way. You wouldn't necessarily have to be feeling negative, but it totally works when you're not feeling however you intended to feel. So let me give you a little bit of example. If I really wanted to come to this call today feeling super confident and refreshed, one of the ways I would use the sensational activation is through my sense of taste. So when I think of the word refreshed, I automatically think of orange juice, right?
Okay.
And so what we do is really just start with an emotion, and then we connect that emotion to a sense that we can have a little bit of distance or disassociation from, that will automatically trigger that emotion subconsciously, like your favorite song, right?
Okay. Got it.
So this is the process. First, we identify our goal. Like, what is it that you're actually trying to do? So maybe you're in a call or you're showing up to a meeting and you're like, listen, I really want to feel super confident. What would you be wanting to do if we were to kind of just grab something out of the air?
Oh, let's see. Yes. Yes, getting ready to go to a meeting where I was leading it. And yes, I'm influencing everyone that was there. So,
So, what is the feeling that you think, your primary feeling that you want to feel when you're actually influence people? When you say like when you successfully influence people, how are you normally feeling?
confident and connected.
Ooh, which one is strong for you?
Uh, I would say connected is strong.
Yes. All right. So let's go with connected, right? So we're going to connect, we're going to anchor one of your senses to that feeling of connection. Now, I normally do this with clients and we go through each one of the senses, but let's just choose one. And we're going to choose it based off of the sense that you know that you are most aware of. Like, so for me, that's my olfactory sense. I am totally big on smells. My nose can smell things it's probably not supposed to smell. And that's probably because I can't hear that well, right? So one of the other ones had to get a little bit more
Got it. Yeah.
for you.
Oh, you broke up a little. What was the last thing you just said?
Which one of your senses is like
Oh,
that's always on?
oh, I would say, hearing.
Okay. So let's go with hearing. Now, can you think of a song that makes you feel the feeling of connected? So let me, before you answer the question, I'm going to define what a feeling means for people. A lot of people would say, I feel like, and that's incorrect. When you ever say like in a sentence that is supposed to talk about feelings, that's a thought and not a feeling.
Ah,
So a feeling is a vibration in your body. So you can literally feel the energy flowing through your body, and that will actually even come up as a sensation for you. So you can say, I feel hot, I feel cold, my heart is racing, my head is hurting, right? Or I can feel something surging in my toes, right? So this is how you would describe your feelings. And we don't talk about these things, but you have these vibrations in your body that range from whether or not you feel like this is a good feeling or a bad feeling, right?
got it.
So connected.
So, did you ask me about a song because I said hearing was a
Yeah.
sense?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So, what's the question? Let's see. What kind of a song would make me feel connected? Well, since I'm a classical musician, it would probably be a classical piece of music. And the first composer that comes up is Mozart, because he wrote a really great clarinet concerto, and performing it in front of an audience really makes me connected to the audience.
Hmm. So if you are about to go into this meeting, listening to this piece, this beautiful piece that you're talking about, you go into the meeting and what happens? Like, how would you describe that? So if you're like, listen, I am about to show up and be completely connected to everyone in the room, I'm going to feel completely aligned. And so sometimes feelings can be nuanced. And so you want to kind of describe how this would show up for you as you're playing out this thing. So I like to kind of combine it into a sentence where it's kind of like, it sounds like Mozart's blah, 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 because you know the details. And it feels like me being completely, and that's how you'll fill in the blank.
Oh, wow.
That intense.
That is intense. Wow.
Let me give you an example. So I'll go back to my orange juice. If I wanted to come here to this call, I had a green shake this morning. Not I didn't have any oranges, right? But that works as well. It helps me feel refreshed.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I want to show up and I just want to feel so refreshed and forget about the day. And it feels like a fresh squeezed orange juice on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yes. And I am able to just go with the flow and feel at ease, right? So you want to kind of sell yourself into this experience as well, using that sense. Like that sense can take you on a journey of all the times you used it or felt that sensation or feeling.
Oh, I see. So you can just transfer it to whatever situation that you're in then, right? So, ah,
And that's exactly the point. So what we're trying to do is so our senses, the reason why we're using our senses is because I wouldn't have to drink the orange juice in order for this to work for me in this situation, right? I can just actually just remember, okay, when I want to feel refreshed, and I immediately I can taste the orange juice without actually having the orange juice because our neural pathways create memories, right? And so
okay.
what you're doing with the trigger, and you can even reinforce the trigger. So I actually developed this concept from the Wolf of Wall Street. He had an olfactory trick where he had this signature scent, and every time he went in to close a deal, he would take a whiff of this scent. And that would put him in his winning energy. And so even after the meeting, if he was successful, he would go back and take a whiff again, because that would literally it will affirm and confirm it over and over again. So the scent and the trigger gets stronger and stronger the more you do it.
Oh, I can see how that would work because you just keep remembering how it smells or tastes or whatever, right? Yeah.
And so this is actually happening for you without you doing this exercise. Exercise makes this very intentional so that you can create what you actually do want to experience, right? However, think about, like, if you said hearing is your strongest sense. If you heard a song before that makes you think of a person, like if you're like, oh my gosh, when I was with my love or whatever, there's a song. My mom passed away a few years ago, but there's a song, a Whitney Houston song that we used to sing together, right? And we loved it, both terrible singers. So every time I hear that song, I feel comforted, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's played randomly. And it's not something that I intended, right? It's just like the song triggers that feeling for me. And it automatically starts to recall memories.
Okay. That makes sense though. Yeah.
So, what do you think? How are you feeling? So, you can literally do this for all of your senses. You don't have to have all 5 senses at the same time, but the more senses you can relate to the feeling that you want to take into a situation, it just amplifies your results.
So what if vision is your sense that is stronger? Then what would you relate that to? Just
So this is a very fun question. And this is exactly why we actually reverse engineer it the other way. Vision is actually almost normally our strongest sense, period, because we are just visual beings, and that's how we navigate the world. Like, this is how we interpret people. This is how we interpret the environments that we're in. Like, we literally like visually record, like we're just like a VCR player, like all the time.
right, yeah.
And so, like, this is actually through your space. We do that as well. And so in your space, if you set up your space a certain type of way, it subconsciously impacts you. Now, for me, it doesn't have to be your space. This could also be the dress that I have on, right? Or you can carry something with you that will visually trigger something, looking at it will trigger something as well. But I find that when you create environments for your energy, because that's how we actually interact in the world, it's probably the strongest way to do so.
Oh, that's amazing. Gosh, I could talk to you about this for hours, but since we are coming up to towards the end, I want to give you an opportunity to explain and tell us about your free gift that you are offering anyone who is watching.
Yes. So great question that led into this. My free gift is a space activation session. So we will actually be talking about the spaces that you're operating in. And what I do during this session, I'm going to just give you a brief. We pick an area of your life that you would want to focus on, and we'll talk about what it is that you want to kind of create and generate in that area. But a good example of this is for entrepreneurs or anyone working from home. This was one of my favorite services to create during the pandemic. We did a Zone of Genius package. And so that space activation for some Zone of Genius was a home office transformation, right? And that was to get you into your genius and feeling completely connected and aligned and being in an environment that will enforce the habits for you to create a new routine and feel focused and creative or whatever it was that you needed. So the space activation, we will actually talk about the area of your life and create space for that in a roadmap in order for you to do that.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So I'm going to put the link above this video right here. And for everyone who is on Facebook, also on YouTube, we'll put it down below it, so that you can take advantage of this amazing, generous gift from Brittany. Yeah. So thank you so much. This has been an amazing, incredible conversation. And if anyone wants to find out more about her and how to contact her, she's in the Facebook group. So just reach out to her there. Or if you're on YouTube, just go to, we'll put some kind of link that'll take you to somewhere where you can find her. So, so thanks so much, Brittany. This has been an amazing conversation, and I look forward to connecting more with you.
Thank you so much. XO.
All right. Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.